I have a question for you. Are you authentically the person that you believe you should be? Or are you the person that is subjected to the whims of what other people expect out of you? Unfortunately, in life, we are always experiencing this creative tension between who we should be and what other people are expecting us to be. That is what I would like to talk about in this video today. My name is Botaki Hlalele from Dreams Made Possible. We continue to share Life 101 conversations for a great life. Before we go any further, please click on the link below and subscribe, because you following this channel help us to grow, but also it assists us to spread the knowledge and empowerment that we believe we have the passion to share with the world. Let's go into this subject. Every time as individuals, we are torn between what families are expecting from us, what society is expecting from us, what the church is expecting from us. But none of those institutions in most cases stand back and ask themselves, what is this person really expecting out of themselves? And unfortunately, if you don't take a pause and ask yourself, what are you expecting out of yourself, and give yourself permission to be, to do, and to create more, you are always going to have a challenge. Think about it. We live daily in a world where we are afraid of what other people are going to say about the things that we do or about the things that we say. But here's it. The people that you are afraid of are also afraid of you. And I don't know if really you have noted that. We live in this world where we check each other. What is this one doing? And then the very people that are checking you, you are also checking them. So we are in this tussle between satisfying what other people want out of us. Think about it this way. Have you seen people that are afraid of a mouse? When a mouse suddenly appears, they run helter-skelter from one point to the next. And then what they don't realize is that the mouse is also running away from them. Unfortunately, we live that way as individuals. We are running from a mouse that is running away from us. So let's bring it to our relationship as individuals. As I said, we are trying to hide ourselves, our true selves, from the people that are trying to hide their true selves from us. And what happens now, we all live in this masked type of environment where we hide our true self because we want to project this thing that we actually don't know what it is. So think about it. You will gain traction in your life when you start to give yourself permission to be. And what is permission to be? Permission to be is to be your true self. It is to live your values. It is to make decisions at that time when you want to make those decisions. It is to even make a decision not to make decisions about certain things because you are comfortable with what you believe in at that point in time. So the reason why mostly we don't give ourselves permission to be is because we allow others to project their own fears upon us. And they usually, when people project their fears on us, there are two things. One is because some have got good intentions about you. They think that they are protecting you because they have walked the journey and they believe that once you go that route, probably there wouldn't be any positive outcomes for you. But we cannot also deny that there are all others who have got ill intentions, who are actually envious of you. They want to be you. And instead, they can already see your success. And they believe that once they allow you to go that path, you are going to beat them at the game of life. And it shouldn't be about competition. But unfortunately, there are people who do exactly that. So very young in my life, I had to learn through some experiences to say, I am going to follow my heart and do what my heart requires. And this came as a result of this little story that I want to share with you. Let's go back in 1995. I joined the teaching fraternity. I'm a teacher at a high school, a 21-year-old at the time. I'm excited about the future. But immediately as I started teaching, I then realized that, wait a bit, I spent 3 years at the time at a university, but almost a year or two before I went into university, I was already doing these subjects. And then when I went into university, I continued with the same subject that I was doing at high school because I was intending to be a teacher at that time. So the difference was that I was taught the methodologies to use as a teacher to convey the lessons to the students. And then I realized, oh, effectively for the last 5 years, I've been doing the same thing. So when I went into the classroom, I started to be complacent. I never prepared much for the exam, for the class because I knew the subject. And I started asking myself, if I'm going to do this for the next 5, 10 years, I will die. And then I decided at that point that probably I need to teach at a different level. What did I do? As any other human being, I went to the people that I taught with and I told them my plans. I said, guys, I'm not going to stay here in teaching. I'm going to leave this place. Your guess is as good as mine at the time. They said, young man, relax, relax. You will be with us here in the next 20 years because we started exactly like you did. We said we are going to leave teaching. And then at that moment, you know, our intuition, I always talk about intuition, our gut. My gut said, don't share your dreams again with people. And I became silent. And then I did my things behind the scenes. Long story short, then I went, I got an opportunity for an interview and I was successful in the Department of Correctional Services, still as a teacher. And then I went back. And the only moment I shared my dream in inverted commas was to say to them, guys, I am leaving teaching. And they did not believe. And it was almost 18 months after joining the Department of Education. And then I went to correctional services. I did the same cardinal mistake again. I told people that I am not going to stay long in that environment. And the reason why I did not want to stay in that environment is I was already studying at a university at the time, and I was the only student who was working in the public sector. So when other students were relaying some of the examples, the experiences that they are going through in their companies, I started to realize that no, actually, because I was now studying industrial psychology at the time, planning to go into the human resource field. I then realized at that point that I need a different experience. And I did that cardinal mistake again. I told my colleagues that I'm going to leave this department. They told me the same story again. We said it, young man, you will still be with us here again. And then I realized from that point, it was a confirmation again that the people are just projecting their fears, or some people just want company for you to stay with them in this life where they are going nowhere. And I decided I'm not going to do that. And I gave myself permission to leave that environment. And I am comfortable that I took that step for me to leave that place. And then my life changed for the better. Not only my life, but the lives of those around me. So you might be sitting at home, you might be sitting in that career, you might be sitting in that relationship, or in any other situation that affects you. And you believe that you do not have permission to make decisions about your life. Let me tell you, you've got permission. You have a birthright to make decisions about your life and give yourself permission. Based on these two stories, I have decided that I will not confide in people who do not necessarily have much to do about their lives or who are not intending to change their lives to the better. So, since I took that decision, I have never come across any resistance from anybody because I'm not sharing much of my dreams. And in that way, it becomes easy for me to give myself permission to be who I want to be. But let's look about why do people fail to give themselves permission, besides the issue of others projecting their fears on them. It is because sometimes we want to belong and be part of circles, and once you always want to be part of circles and being in the thick of things, in everything, you start losing yourself. You want to be at every party. In this party, they even dictate to you what is it that you need to wear, what type of makeup you need to put on, what type of dress you need to put on, what type of pants you need to put on, what type of car you need to bring to those occasions. So in that way, you allow others to tell you who you should be, because you want to be part of circles. You want to be part of every conversation. And once you start doing that, you wanting to be part of every conversation, you lose yourself in the process. In a nutshell, once you do that, you are caught by inferiority complex. And once you are operating from that stance of inferiority, you'll never give yourself permission to be. So you have a right to give yourself permission to rest. You don't have to be part of everything that is happening out there. You've got a right to just shut down and lock the world out so that you can be with yourself. You've got a right to permit yourself to just look after your health and not do certain things that are not going to harm your body. The list is endless for you to be able to give yourself permission to be. So how do you go about to give yourself permission to be so that you can create more and do more? It starts with your identity, your values, and your strength. If you can solidify those things, you'll start to realize that it becomes easier for you to do things that you yourself want instead of what other people want for your life. The second thing is about trusting yourself. If you don't trust your abilities, if you don't trust your skills, if you don't trust even your voice, how can you then express yourself? So you need to trust yourself so that you are able to give yourself permission to be, to do more, and to create more with your life. And sometimes we have to trust the process if we really want to give ourselves permission to be about our lives. When I narrated the story of leaving from teaching, I didn't know what the future held, but I believed that the future is bright. And then I had to stand back and put structures in place that will ensure that the future will turn the best way I have thought of. Then I had to touch the process and allow the universe to come into play to allow me to achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. So at the end of the day, you might be sitting at home. You might be saying, do I have a right to be me? Yes, you definitely have got a right to be you. You don't have to depend on other people to be yourself. If you outsource who you should be to what other people, you will be like an actor who just come on to act on a script that other people have already written, and you just play on the gallery of what other people are expecting out of you. Make your life great by being you and giving yourself permission to be. As I said at the beginning, Butaki Hlalele from Dreams Made Possible. Continue to subscribe and follow us so that we can share knowledge and empowerment so that you can make your life a better place. Thank you.